If you live in Mauritius, Australia, America, China, or Madagascar, your modern city is sitting right on top of a massive historical crime scene. Before your ancestors built the streets, cars, and apartments you look at every day, they shared the land with some of the most bizarre, beautiful, and completely unique creatures to ever walk the earth. And no, we aren't talking about dinosaurs from millions of years ago. We are talking about legendary animals that your great-great-grandparents actively saw, played with, or accidentally wiped out just a few generations ago. Let's look at 5 incredible species we lost and exactly how your country made them disappear. First stop, the tropical paradise of Mauritius. Meet the dodo. Forget everything your boring school textbooks told you. The dodo wasn't stupid or clumsy. It was just incredibly peaceful. Because this island had zero natural predators, the dodo evolved without a single ounce of fear. It didn't fly, it didn't hide, and it welcomed human visitors like a friendly, chubby golden retriever. What did they actually do all day? They were the island's ultimate unpaid gardeners. They loved eating the large, rock-hard seeds of the legendary Tembala coke tree. The dodo's incredibly strong stomach muscularly ground down the tough outer shell of the seed. Here's the crazy part. That process was the only way the seed could actually activate and grow after being pooped out. But in 1598, human ships arrived. Humans didn't even like the taste of dodo meat, but they brought invasive pigs, rats, and monkeys on their boats. These new animals went rogue, eating the dodo eggs straight out of their ground nests. By 1681, the very last dodo died. Today, because the bird is gone, the ancient tree it protected can no longer sprout naturally and is nearly extinct too. One country's mistake deleted 2 completely different species. Next, we jump down under to Australia. If you live here, your historic wildlife ghost wasn't a monster. It was a creature that looked like a dog, had tiger stripes painted on its lower back, and a built-in pouch just like a kangaroo. This was the Thylacine, also known as the Tasmanian tiger. These creatures were nocturnal masters of the bush. They didn't bark. Instead, they made a strange, rhythmic double yip sound to talk to each other while hunting in the pitch black. But their ultimate cartoon superpower? They could open their jaws to a staggering, terrifying 120 degrees. That is wider than almost any other mammal on Earth, making them look like a literal living arcade game character when yawning. So, how did Australia lose them? In the 1800s, European farmers moved in with millions of sheep. Whenever a sheep died of natural sickness, the farmers pointed fingers at the tiger. The Australian government literally started paying citizens cash bounties for every single tiger head brought to them. It was a state-sponsored hit job based on a lie. In 1936, the absolute last known Tasmanian tiger, named Benjamin, died of freezing exposure because a lazy zookeeper locked him outside of his shelter on a freezing night. The third story takes us straight to the United States, and it features one of the biggest populations of any creature in human history. In the 1800s, the sky across America would randomly go completely pitch black in broad daylight for 3 days straight. This wasn't a storm, it was a single flock of passenger pigeons. Billions of these stunning blue and orange birds flew in massive, roaring clouds that stretched for 300 miles long. They flew at a roaring 60 miles per hour, making a deafening sound that sounded like a literal hurricane passing through the forest. They were the absolute heartbeat of the North American ecosystem. But as the American lifestyle rapidly modernized, humans saw this massive cloud as free fast food and cheap pillow feathers. People built industrial-sized traps, used dynamite on their nesting forests, and shipped dead birds by the literal trainload to major cities. In less than a century, a population of 5 billion birds was reduced to exactly 0. The last survivor, named Martha, died entirely alone in a Cincinnati zoo in 1914. 5 billion to 0 in a single human lifetime. Now, let's travel to China. For over 20 million years, the massive Yangtze River was home to a creature known as the goddess of the Yangtze, the Baiji dolphin. This wasn't your average ocean dolphin. It was a ghost white, nearly blind river dolphin with a long, elegant, chopstick-shaped beak. Because the river water was incredibly muddy, the Baiji didn't use its eyes. Instead, it navigated using a highly advanced organic sonar system that was so precise it could detect a single tiny shrimp moving feet away in pitch black mud. For thousands of years, local traditional fishermen worshipped this dolphin as a symbol of peace and prosperity. But in the mid-1900s, China went through an explosive industrial revolution. The quiet, muddy river suddenly filled with thousands of massive commercial cargo ships, loud motorized propellers, and illegal electric fishing lines. The intense underwater noise completely jammed the dolphins' delicate sonar, making them blind, deaf, and helpless. They couldn't find food, and they couldn't avoid the spinning boat blades. By 2000, 2006, scientists went on a massive 6-week search across the entire river and didn't find a single one. The river goddess was officially gone. Our final stop is the massive island of Madagascar. Today, lemurs are small, fast, bouncy creatures. But a few hundred years ago, Madagascar was ruled by the babakotia, also known as the giant sloth lemur. This wasn't a cute little tree climber. This was a lemur the size of a fully grown human chimpanzee. Unlike modern lemurs, these giants moved through the trees in extreme slow motion, hanging upside down from massive branches just like modern sloths. They had massive, curved hooks for hands and spent their entire lives living in a peaceful, slow-motion world, eating leaves high above the ground. So what happened? When the first human settlers arrived on the island, they began slashing and burning down the ancient thick forests to make room for agriculture and farming. Because the sloth lemurs were so incredibly slow and relied entirely on giant tree canopies, they couldn't run away from the fires or the hunters. Within a short historical window, the jungle went silent, and the largest, coolest tree dwellers Madagascar ever created vanished into history. Every single nation on this planet has a magnificent ghost animal haunting its history books. Your country's flag might feature a proud lion, an eagle, or a fierce dragon, but the real question is, what incredible creature did your ancestors have to destroy to build the room you are sitting in right now? Comment the name of your country down below, and I will reply to you personally with the exact unique animal your nation lost forever. Let's keep their memory alive. Hit that subscribe button, and let's uncover what else your country is hiding from you tomorrow.